Paris. I'm the founder of Lash Affair. Welcome to our first episode of Liquor and Lashes. I'm with my first guest, Ali from Lash Anarchist, and we're here to drink and talk about lashes. So let's go. Enjoy. We're going to be answering a series of questions that were curated by our team we have never seen before, so let's do it. And they're backwards. No. How did you two meet? So we met.
I remember now.
We met because I fucking stalked you online, and I was like, I need you to do my lashes.
And you had just moved to Scottsdale.
Yeah.
I lived in Salt Lake City before that, and I had just moved to Scottsdale, started doing lashes, and then you came in and got your lashes done by me.
And I was pleasantly surprised by the results.
When I was doing your lashes the first time, when you texted me, you were like, this is Jenelle, and then I was like, hey, what's your last name? And you were like, Paris, and I was like,
fuck.
I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like,
That's weird.
that's gotta be Jenelle Paris.
Did I say like Lash Affair? Like,
no, I don't feel like you did, but I always ask like first and last name for my scheduler. What if you were like,
Lash
hey,
Affair.
this is Jenelle Paris from Lash Affair, and I want you to do my lashes? I would have been like, what the fuck?
Okay. Your problem.
Like, okay, do you want something fancy or just kidding?
Always, but just
I
recognize.
don't think you did that.
No, I definitely
No,
did.
you didn't.
For sure. Memorable time where you did my lashes, and I remember the shape being like the most beautiful, articulate like shape that I've ever had in my lashes. So, yeah, and I think I told you that like a couple years ago, and you were a weirdo, and you were like, yeah, I remember we did the fucking open eye, full texture. So I thought that was cool. They actually
I
remembered
remember
what
your
you did.
legs. Like I was a bartender, but like you remember people by their drinks.
All right, so that's relatable. All right, classic, hybrid, or volume. What is your favorite? So for me, I like all the above. Honestly, if you have nothing, I think classic is a gem. Actually, I'll just be honest. I like hybrid.
I
and
like
volume.
hybrid too. I think it's really close to texture, which is maybe my favorite.
Texture is my jam.
Because it mimics natural lashes, which I really,
Messy.
yeah,
Messy.
yeah, like a little bit too. I mean, I actually like really appreciate very perfect lashes in an art form, but like
When you say perfect, what do you mean?
like Russian volume, perfect line.
No, I appreciate it too.
Like I appreciate it as
I don't
an
want that
art form.
on me though.
Right. I
Yeah.
would take it on me for sure. I'd love it on me.
Yeah.
But
I respect, just to be clear, I respect everything as an art form. When somebody lays out that like linear, like how do you do that? That's amazing. But
do you know
as a
they do
preference-
it in teams?
What do you mean?
Do you know in Russia they have competitions? They literally have fucking teams of like 6 girls, and they'll get their model and they'll all huddle together and they're like, here's the game plan. This is what you're gonna do with your model. This is what we're gonna do in like this quadrant, this one, this one, this one, and then they all like choose their
This
best.
is like in competition.
Yeah, and they choose their best teammate, like kind of like in a, I don't even know.
Olympic sport.
Yeah, and then they have her do the lashing, and everyone stands around her and they like tell her what to do.
Oh, it's like curling.
It's fucking
No, it's
crazy.
like curling.
No.
Next question. Did I do the next one? Is this one's yours?
Mine. This one's mine.
Stole it. Stole it.
What were your lash extensions like when you first started getting them
Ah! So I used to go up, and I don't know what you used to say. So this is like 2010,
Oh, I remember.
11. We thought we were the coolest. Even
Oh, that was
2012.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a couple years before.
2012 was like, lay it on me. Fucking 14 millimeter 0.25s. Like, yeah, it was a wartime. I used to go in to my lash artist. It wasn't a specific person. It would be a couple of people doing my lashes, but I would say to her, verbatim, I want the longest, curliest cat eye you can give me. And I would say, cat eye.
I can't imagine you
Cat
even
eye.
saying that. It's hilarious. I used to
Well, I'm
ask
talking
for
like 16s, like
Yeah.
on
On the
the
very
weak,
little weak end.
yeah, like the weak babies.
So you have like,
like
little
couldn't
droopy dogs.
stand the
They
fight.
were just like falling
Yeah.
low, and you were like pushing
Like
them
Percy,
up with your
you're
like
like,
mascara.
no, motherfucker, you're going in for the map.
You're like, why don't these stay up? This is fucked up. My lash artist sucks.
That's literally what I
You
was
cry
thinking.
and they're like hanging down your face. Nobody knew back then.
Nobody
either.
knows. If you don't know, you don't know. You can't fault people for not knowing.
No.
If you know and you choose to do better or choose to do the same shitty work, that's a different story.
What's one thing you love about being a lash artist?
I feel like you're looking at me like you're not even a lash artist.
Neither am I.
But, oh, okay. So, equal. The thing I used to love about being a lash artist was the way that doing lashes made them feel. Like when I would do lashes on a client and they would open their eyes and they would just be so fucking like taken over by the reaction, that would get me off. It would.
That's cute.
No, but it would though.
My favorite thing about being a lash artist was being able to be artistic and get paid for it, financial freedom, being able to provide for my family, have a baby and not worry about like how to pay for shit, like for real.
There's nothing
Thank
wrong with
you,
that.
lash
I think
artistry.
that these are all.
It was something that I
all
was able
benefits here.
to work really fucking hard at, and like I don't think I had natural talent. It took me a long time to like let it click, but it was something that I worked for really hard for myself, and it ended up being able to be something that I could like grow. And
Yeah.
and it for me it was like financial. It was fucking rad. I was like, I'm a boss bitch.
What's the one thing that you wish the clients knew? Okay.
Oh, one? Okay.
Just the most. I think the one thing that I wish clients the one thing I wish clients knew was that they can't talk. And I know this is misleading because I know I'm very hyper. I tend to like talk to clients or used to, but I feel like it's a hazard. That's like dangerous in my opinion now. We're like, what the fuck? Like you can't be doing a service on
I love
somebody.
how different our opinions are. I'm like,
No, but that's perfect. If you talk, think about it. You're talking, you're asking someone to be super still, and then you're placing lashes, and this fucking, you're talking around, and they're like, oh yeah, my fucking retention's not that great. Where you're like, okay, how's your placement? You're trying to place a lash on the good. Like this? Is what's happening?
so funny.
Yeah.
I'm such a talker. I'm like such a talkative
Me
lash
too.
artist, and so are my clients. It makes me wonder, like,
track that.
what a better client, like, what a better body of work I could have done if all of my clients were silent.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure. Hopefully, everybody thinks that. Because like when you get to the nitty gritty of like placement, you have to be like, here's the lash, natural. Here's the extension.
Maybe that's why I
Here's
had
where
like
it
problems
goes.
with retention.
If you're
all the
like,
time.
ready? Here we go. She's talking. Here's my weekend.
I got really good at chasing lashes.
Here we go.
I feel like for me, what I wish clients knew what goes into becoming a lash artist. You don't just go to school and pop out a lash artist. You go to school and then you take lash classes,
Yeah.
and then you take more lash classes, and then you practice super hard, and then you come up. So like when people are like, well, and I shouldn't say all clients, because a lot of clients like understand this, but when you charge higher, there's a fucking reason why you charge higher. It's not
The
just
value.
right. You don't just be a lash artist on your side gig. Like, you're working really hard to charge these higher prices. So like, I wish people knew that. Not only that, but like your overhead. People are like, okay, so you make $100 an hour? And I'm like, no, fucker. I paid for my license, my training, I paid for my overhead, I paid for my products, I paid for my daycare. Like, no.
Right.
There's a lot of overhead. So people think it's a side gig, and I wish that people knew that, like, no, a lot goes into it. And really, I'm just getting paid like $30 an hour, so. All right, what's your favorite lash related product? I know you have one. I like, because I live in Arizona in like zero humidity, I really like the Ruthie Bell Glue Stop. And it's like a little product. You swipe it along your actual strip of lashes at the base, almost to the base. And then when you take up a fan and you dip it into your glue, it stops your glue from traveling up and sticking to your tweezers. It's fucking awesome.
For me, my favorite lash product,
It's gotta be your growth serum because COVID. So
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to say that. Since you said it, I wanted to say it.
It sounds like you liked it.
Dude, I liked it and I love it. Right? So I'm currently liking it. All the things.
I think that's fine. You're allowed to promote your own brand if you like your shit.
I wish this beverage was my own brand,
give a shit.
so then I would fucking promote that on the regular.
What about a tequila vodka mixture? And we just made it like the LA.
Like an L plus curl. Like how the L plus curl came about.
Oh my god.
If you go back in time when we first started in the industry, what advice would you give your past self?
Oh, okay. Am I going first? Can I?
Sure.
Okay, for me, I feel like my best advice to my past self, because I was an impatient piece of shit, is to have patience. And because for me, like, this is so dumb. Like, I'm almost like emotional about it. Oh, fucking booze.
It's not dumb. It's not dumb.
No, for me.
Don't ever think it's dumb. I think
Thanks.
like, yeah, it's not dumb.
So, in the beginning, I always felt like I had a place in this industry, but I just didn't know where. And I was working super hard for years and years and years. And literally, it was like 6 years in before I found it. And I was so impatient all those years, and I just kept having this feeling like, eventually I'll find it. Just keep on keeping on.
Right.
And eventually I did, but it literally took almost 7 years before I felt like I knew why I was doing all of this. So for me, it would be patience.
I kind of feel the same way. Where I am in a similar situation with Lash Affair, where I just want like everything always, right? Like you come with an idea and you're like, let's get it going. But like patience really is a virtue, right?
Right.
Where I think that the more that you can sit with your ideas and bounce them off other people, I think that the more valuable those ideas are going to be. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Just like patience. And,
We're
like,
super similar that way.
Taking your time. Like it took me a long time to get to this point of like, I feel like for me, when I'm excited, I'm like, let's launch it today. Everywhere, all the things now.
Me too.
But that's not the case. Like,
Yeah.
That shouldn't be the case. Like everything needs like its course, right? So for me,
there's a launch period. I always skip that. I'm just like, now.
And that's what I love about you.
We're just like really going for just the straight Patron, which is staring at the foot off of there.
A few moments later.
I dropped the card. This card says, what's the worst thing you've seen as a lash artist?
It was, okay, so when I owned a lash lounge or whatever.
Whatever the fuck you want to call it. Who cares?
Lash salon in Utah. We had a girl come in, a lady, and she was like, I want a removal. Like, that was what she was coming in for, was a removal. She came in, and she had clusters. You remember clusters? Oh my God, I'm so happy that I can say that today. Do you remember clusters? Because that used to be the bane of our existence. She had clusters that were put on like 7 layers on top of each other. And they were like this thick. And she was like, I can't even open my eyelids very wide anymore. And she said that she kept going to her lash artist and she never took them off. She just laid another layer every time. And she had gone to her for 7 months. And she had they were like an inch thick. And it was fucking crazy. I shouldn't say I did. The girl that worked for us, she put a lash remover across them. And we were just kind of like hanging out, waiting, thinking that they would slide off because they were heavy.
Slide off.
I mean,
I know.
dude.
Slide off.
Anyway, 45 minutes later, this poor woman is just like crying because that shit back then like used to burn like a motherfucker. And I was like, we can't do this anymore. Luckily, they slid down enough. She had to lay down, and I just had to cut them off. And they were seriously like an inch fucking thick. And I was like, I'm never gonna forget this day. It's so bad. I've never seen anything worse. It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
I feel like one of the worst videos that I've ever seen as a lash artist were the TikTok experiences that I had to be subjected to, where it was like a human. I was speaking like it was like an extraterrestrial experience. There was a human being that was in the video that was taking a finger and like reaching into their eye and like removing a fucking lash extension. It was like inside there, but then it was like a weird removal. I don't even know how to describe it to you. Maybe I feel more uncomfortable because you're here. But like, it was an.
Did you save it? Please send it to me.
Yeah, no, it was a TikTok. It was a whole fucking thing where like it got like 500,000 views. Where like that's
sorry,
not
to
the
chug
goal.
that water.
Never sorry. Chug a love that we did last night. But the point is, the video is just showing like a person removing an extension from like the tear duct, and like it scarred me for life.
Ew.
So, for
like
me,
you could have scratched their eyeball.
the
like,
whole
across.
cornea, like everything about it was just fucked up.
Oh, I hate this question. I disapprove. Would you rather only be able to use 0.25 diameter? Ooh, I literally just got chills. Would you
Please
rather
record all of this?
only be able to use 0.25 diameter lashes or strictly longer than 17 millimeter lashes?
Ew. I hate that question.
Rip it up.
Rip it up. What was the question again? The point, wait. For me,
So uncomfortable.
I think I'd rather just
Like
do
a salon
0.25. I think I'd rather do the 0.25.
Me too.
Because the fact that
I would
you
go
could
like
just like
sixes.
go lower.
6s.
Yeah, you should be like 0.6 all,
I'd be
or
like
6
4,
millimeter
5,
all the way across.
6.
I don't think that I would go longer.
Can you imagine 17.03s? It's actually like a lot of guys I know. They're just like, what? Fucking losers. It's like not even fair. Pour myself another drink then. Thoughts on mega volume?
No.
Your favorite
I feel like
subject?
What is my favorite subject? I love all the things. Mega volume, everything. I'm just a very, what's the word? Protective. Yeah, I'm protective, and I'm a stickler on health, lash health. That's really the only thing I care about. I don't care about styling. I don't care about symmetry. I don't care about any of those things. I just care about lash health.
That's
And
legit.
from what I've learned personally, also, not just like on the sidelines, is that like weight and things matter, right? So,
Fuck yeah, they do.
right? I feel like the cluster of people that latch on to that technique of like just like more the better concept
Mhm.
that worries me.
I 100% agree with you. And it reminds me of when Volume first came out.
Yes.
And people were like, oh, this is awesome. Well, first of all, there were people who were like, fuck that. It's like really gross. That's too much. Blah, blah, blah. And then there was like, all these people who were like, this is great. And I can just like grab a clump of lashes and dip it in glue and slap it on. You can do that with Mega Volume too.
Right.
But if you do volume right, it doesn't do that. If you
Right.
do Mega Volume right, it doesn't do that. So it's like,
Exactly.
I think Mega Volume gets a bad rap right now, just the same way that Mega Volume got a bad rap about 5 years ago. Because people still haven't like taken the time to like get to know it, or like there's not enough education out there about it. Honestly, there's clearly not. That like it's starting now. I've actually seen a lot more Mega Volume classes coming out now, where we're actually talking about like what's a proper Mega Volume fan and what's not. But yeah, like I feel like in the
that's really
beginning,
what it is too. It's like there's not enough education around.
right? Same with
Why?
pre-mades.
Yeah, and I love pre-mades too.
Me
Like, I
too.
don't want to come off as like I'm like a anti-pre-made person.
No, you're an anti bad health of the lash person.
Yeah.
Which I totally fucking am too. I'm like, no, seriously, in my classes, if people are like building these like 30 volume like O3s, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what lash could withstand? Like, no, we're gonna calm down. Like, you have to take care of the health of your client's lashes, or who the fuck are you gonna put lashes on if they don't have lashes? This has been an episode of Liquor and Lashes. Thank you for joining us. I don't know what you said. I
Tune in
forgot.
next time.
Thank you for coming, and tune in next time.
All right.